Hello, this is The Exhausted Programmer. My name is Alexander, and today we're starting a new series called The Amazing Internet. In this series, I hope to discuss things on the internet that make it a great gift to have in our modern culture. We'll start the series off with Wikipedia. The internet has been with us since the 60s, and since then there has been many great innovations on top of it, including email, the web, all sorts of live streaming and other streaming services. And sometimes this can feel a bit overwhelming. More so, people feel like there are little lost gems of the internet that people used to know but have forgotten. And so people have compiled lists like this throughout the internet for decades now, looking for great sites that people might not know that gets the most out of the internet. Usually these sites or features are free or pretty cheap, and they tend to come with this idea that they make people's lives better by existing. I've taken a few of those lists and added to it, and remove some that I don't think really apply. And in doing so, have created this series where we take a look at all these things one at a time. I think it's a great fit that we first start with Wikipedia, which we'll take a look in depth in this video. The first connection most people make to Wikipedia is that it is an online encyclopedia. Encyclopedias have been with us for 2,000 years, and online encyclopedias actually predate Wikipedia itself, so it is not unique in either one of those ideas. Now, what makes Wikipedia unique we'll discuss in a second, but it is worth noting that other people have had this idea. In fact, I would say that the whole concept of the internet is to sort of create an encyclopedia of sorts. What's the point of connecting two computers together if not to share information? And what's the point of sharing it over networks if not to share it with more people? The thing that sets Wikipedia apart from other online encyclopedias is the wiki part. Wikimedia, the parent company of Wikipedia, has created a software, open source and freely available for anyone to use, which when used with a website can allow the website owners to set rules on who can add, edit, and delete content from that website. Wikipedia has its own set of rules, checks and balances that we can go into a little bit at the end of this video, but I could set up my own wiki site to cover whatever topic I want to cover and just have it open to anyone and everyone to edit, or to make it really restricted so only a few people can. It would be up to me using that free software. Like I said, Wikipedia does have its own rules, and with those rules in place, you can see that there's over 6 million articles for English, as well as over 1 million articles for a bunch of other languages. While this page right here is very impressive, it gets even more impressive if we just scroll down a little bit, where we can find sister sites to Wikipedia, which really starts to open up what this website and this organization can do for you. Now, I could make a video for each one of these products, and I would say most of those videos would be worth watching. Maybe a few of these are a little less impressive compared to their sister sites. But one that I do want to point out in this video as a part of the Wikipedia page is this Commons, because I've used this to make videos in the past. You can come here, you can search for something. I'm going to search for flower, and I get a bunch of pictures of flowers. I could do audio about flowers, video, whatever. But what I like is that I can sort based on licenses. So I can do no restrictions, and then find a picture I like, and just double check that the license fits with the kind of content I'm producing, and then feel comfortable and confident that I will not get a copyright strike for using this. But we are not here for the Wikimedia Commons, we're here for Wikipedia itself. So we'll go back. Now, you might speak multiple languages, but we're going to assume that everyone here is familiar with the English language, or else you're kind of wasting your time listening to me. When we click on our language, we're introduced to the English homepage, or at least that's how I think of it in my head. And here we have a featured article, something that you might be interested in reading that you wouldn't have looked up yourself. Things that are happening in the news, as well as this ongoing tab, which is already purple for me because I actually use this a lot. Did you know trivia? I find this very interesting to read as a way to waste a couple of minutes of time as I'm on a bus or waiting in line for fast food or something like that. And then on this day, where you can look at some major events that happened on this day in years past. If you keep scrolling down, there's almost always a featured picture, and sometimes there's even another article down here that might be worth looking at, as well as links to other parts of the site, and again, those other sister sites that we saw a list of earlier. So let's quickly go one by one through these sections. The featured article, again, you can read, but you can also go and see the one from yesterday, the one from the day before, the one from the day before that. And you can actually even go further with archives to go back to the very first featured article of all time, February 2004, 22, Mozart. Also worth pointing out that this page gets refreshed every day at midnight, but which time zone midnight I am not actually sure about right now. So when we look at in the news, these don't change every day because some of these things need to stay in the news as we continue going forward. The flooding in Nepal has been here for days, and that makes sense as this has affected 250 people clearly directly, not to mention all the family and friends, people who are injured, people who lost property, etc. But again, you can get more information with this ongoing here. The ongoing page, which you could clearly just bookmark if this is all you were concerned with, has the same topics in the news as before. But here we can start seeing by day breakdowns of what has happened. October 6th, the day I'm filming this, to show you how last minute I put this stuff together. We can see that some things have already happened today. I do live in the central time zone of America. So by the time I get here, most of the day has passed for most of the people in the world. But we can go back in time. Everything that happened October 5th that the people at Wikipedia felt to categorize, the 4th, the 3rd, etc. And again, there's a calendar up here. We could, keep skipping back if we wanted to. These articles are actually a lot of links, if we click on them, we can get maybe a more full picture of everything that is happening as opposed to just that current news story. And like everything with Wikipedia, sources at the bottom if you want to dig even further. The next version is the Do You Know? And again, we can look back at previous things. We can see these articles. Honestly, sometimes these get a little bit clickbaity, but all they're tricking you into clicking on is more information to make you more educated. So it's hard to feel too bad about it. And then really the reason why I first got in the habit of checking Wikipedia every day was for the On This Day section of the page. Now, October 6th next year, they might repeat some of these, they might not. If there's something major that happened this day that everyone should know about, they probably will reuse it again, but they try to cycle it up. It's also on this day, people who died. So Samuel died 1014, and then people who are born, which are these two people. And you can get more information if we go and click on the date, either here or here. Also, while we're going through this, you can choose any day of the year to find out more information about that day. And when I say more information, I really do mean more information. Like today is the 279th day of the year. Events that happened pre-1600s, 1900s, 1901. I've seen other days. I don't think they all are divided in these specific time frames, but maybe I'm wrong. A list of more people who were born, a list of more people who died. If we scroll further, and then really the reason why I came here when I first started doing Wikipedia every day was the holidays, because I think every day should be a celebration, and I kind of want to make a calendar where every day was a holiday worth at least mentioning, maybe celebrating a little bit. Now, not every country celebrates the same holidays, so where it's appropriate, we'll see the countries listed to the side. And again, if we want to know more about any of these things, we can click on it, like the German American Day. You can learn maybe the history of why it's observed, who did it the first time. Different holidays will have different information, obviously. Now, in this short video, some people might think that I am ignoring or intentionally missing out on talking on controversies in Wikipedia's past or even present. I'm not avoiding those. I just don't have a good spot for them other than right now, but Wikipedia also has a spot for its own controversies. We can actually look up list of Wikipedia controversies. Here we can see an article where controversies are laid out chronologically. And there's actually quite a lot worth reading. Honestly, I looked at just a few and I found some that I wouldn't even consider that controversial. But at the time it was made, and maybe for some people it is. The fact is Wikipedia has changed in its concept of what it does and what it won't do. And an early example of it not knowing where it was going, an early controversy, is that the Spanish language decided to pull its content and fork away from Wikipedia due to an issue of possibly selling ads. And that's actually the first controversy. The second controversy is the fact that a bot created a bunch of very, very small articles with information that it pulled from the US state census, and in order to fill out every missing county, town, city, and village in the United States. I personally think that's great because it shows for at least one moment that that town or city existed, even though it might not exist today. I come from a place where towns have died in my lifetime, and it's kind of neat to know that some of them will continue to be known while others will not is a bit of a sad spot for me. A great example of towns that don't exist anymore is a town that died before Wikipedia did this big bot push, or at least I assume, because there is no Wikipedia article for the town of East Tupelo, which is quite impressive given the fact that that is actually where Elvis Presley was born. So if I look up Elvis Presley and I search for East Tupelo, we can see that, you know, he has an association with East Tupelo, but as you can see, the articles say that he was born in Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo, Mississippi. If we look for East Tupelo in the search, it doesn't exist. Instead, it wants us to go here because, again, East Tupelo doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if maybe it was one of the towns that was added in that push back in 2002. I doubt it. But again, it doesn't exist in Wikipedia. So it is some information that is missing in Wikipedia and is leading to some false information. Lehigh, Arkansas, on the other hand, which I did a little typo, it's only got this little bit, but it is important because of the Memphis, Arkansas Speedway and its association with NASCAR. I actually didn't know its association with NASCAR, even though I used to work in Lehigh, Arkansas. So even these little stubs have taught information to me, even though I lived in that, or I worked in that town. I lived to the east of that town a little bit. And really, that is a reason why Wikipedia will always have controversy. There have been times where I've tried to look up people who I thought were known celebrities to try to get more information on them, only to find that Wikipedia has removed their article for not being famous enough. There is a fear that people like me will create Wikipedia articles about myself as a way of trying to advertise myself in a free way on the backs of Wikipedia. I don't blame them from trying to censor me, but I don't know how they determine who is and is not acceptable in their lists of people to have articles. And I'm glad that I don't have to make that decision. And similarly, there's a bunch of other contexts and concepts that are blurred all over the place. We could discuss possible political leanings in the way they report things, but I try not to get too controversial on this show. Maybe if you catch me on one of my live streams that I do, I might be a little bit more loose-tongued and might let it slip a little bit more probable concerns with the way Wikipedia is reporting on certain things. But the fact is, even then, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I still use Wikipedia every day. My complaints clearly don't matter enough to me to keep me from using them, and therefore I don't think it's worth mentioning here as a way to encourage you to not use it. Even with those problems, I would still suggest using it. It is a great source. All the constant linking one article to the next so you can keep digging in is amazing. A great source for this is if you want to know the history of some nation or empire or a city or something along those lines, start with Wikipedia. Usually it gives you a very brief overview of the history of that nation, empire, whatever. At least if it's existed for a long time, you're not going to get many details reading the first page. But each section, divided usually chronologically, will usually link to an article that goes more into depth over that period of time for that empire, city, whatever. If you found this interesting, please feel free to like and subscribe. If there's other online resources that you want me to cover on this series of The Internet is Amazing, please also drop those in the comments. I do videos on all sorts of topics relating to tech, and hopefully in the future, maybe some other topics. But if you have anything you want me to cover, look at, or comment on, please feel free to ask me in the comments below. If it's short, I'll respond in the comments, and if it's long, I might make a video. If I make a video on your idea, I will do my best to credit you for the idea. Thanks for watching.